Hello, everybody. How are you? Y'all all know by now that the storm has done hit land. I've been doing a sort of a time lapse, and you'll see here in a minute. Um, I was lining it up here. Wasn't putting any sound in it, so I'm re-recording this so you can see it and me talking to you at the same time. But just to prove to you that I was actually time-lapsing, I'm going to turn the sound on and you're going to hear a monograph, which I was listening to at last night when I started recording this. And
it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out well. And then they're trying to blackmail the rest of the population in stating that if you don't, or if the election doesn't go there that way.
Okay, you heard him talking, okay? Now, why did I do that? Because I wanted you to understand that this is time-lapsed, and we're going to go through the video, and I got some other stuff to show you exactly, too. Because when I told y'all this about this storm in my previous couple of videos, I told you that it was going to hit where the air is pointing. And guess where that area happens to be? Yeah, 1 month ago, we had another storm. Remember the other storm? Yeah, on the 20, what was it? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong map. So, hold on. Okay, well, on the 26th, this was actually a time lapse of 24 hours. It happened early in the morning. It was actually on the 27th, but we're not going to go into all that. What I'm showing you is exactly where the storm hit. You see down here where it's at. And we're going to try to blow that up a little bit. As you see right here, that was on the 26th of August. Okay. Now, today is October 9th. And let's click that one more button. There you go. Now, I'm going to flip back and forth a time or two so you can see it for yourself, the difference. And you see that they're exactly, with what? 10 miles at the most difference, if that. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't never know of any other time that I've ever seen a storm hitting the same location ever. Now, there might be a timer that I don't know about. I don't say I can remember everything because I can't. But I don't never remember one in the same location in my 60 years of life. But you see it for yourself, hitting in the same location, and me predicting both of them to hit in this area. Yeah, I predicted the one on the 9th, which is this one today, and the one on the 26th to hit where it hit. Now, they were trying to say that this storm was going to hit way over here. Both times they were going to say that. Now, on the 9th, on the 26th, at one time at the beginning, I thought it was going to land over here. I did. And I thought that because of a lot of upper level winds. And this one, I was beginning to think that it was going to do that too until we got to talking a little bit more, and I seen a little bit of different things. But in the long run, at the end, I decided that no, that ain't where it's going to hit. Now back over here, well, I think it moved. I should have stopped that, and I didn't. I draw the line, as y'all see here. I don't know why it won't get rid of that blue line, but it will in a minute. But you see where I'm at, and you see I draw the line, and you see where it's stopping, okay? Now here in a minute, you're going to see it move further up the line. That's because it's being time-lapsed or paused and moved. And we'll see that here in just a minute, I'm sure. Now, you see that it's been slowed down here. Oh, yeah. Remember we've been talking about things happening to you while you're doing stuff? Yesterday, when my other computer, not the one we're on right now, it updated my Windows and knocked me offline. I didn't know it was going to do it. It just did it. And it generally gives you a warning, especially when you've told Windows that you didn't want no updates. But it did it anyway. Okay. Now, it doing it anyway, it took about, I don't know, about 2 hours to do the update. I was a little ticked off about that, but, that's another story. I also want you to pay attention at where the arrow is. Okay. You also see the white line coming in, and that's the reason why the arrow is right there, pointing to the spot, and then me drawing a line for you've seen it just then. That's the reason why we're doing the video. Okay. I recorded this video earlier, and when I did so, my movie maker with all these parts was backing up the picture all on its own. We may talk about that. I may even show. Did I delete that? I think I deleted it. I was running out of hard drive, so I think I deleted that. But I want you to pay close attention. I don't know why. I don't remember it taking so long to do this, but now it might have been because it was in, I had it slowed down there for a while, but as you see right here, it's almost on land. And this, I don't remember what time it was, but you see where it's at. You see the line, you see the path that it's taking right now. Every once in a while, I'd have to readjust the screen because when it refreshes, it moves my adjustment. So I have to readjust it. But what you're seeing right there is now. See, it's actually going on land right here. Where does it hit? You see it. Right where it was marked. Right where it was the last time. And here we go again. And we got 2 modifications plus 3, which we have right over there on the east coast of Florida. That'd be the 3rd one, the one that you just saw right there. I'm never going to get that to stop here on this. But my point of it is you see it. There's a modification here. There was one up here. And down below here, when the storm was a few hundred miles away from land, there was a modification that went right through the middle of the storm at that time. So this storm was steered with some sort of frequency modification with a beam. Pretty much, with radar and stuff like that, it doesn't work in the same manner as a laser beam or anything like that. A straight line, we're going to draw straight line. This is a straight line. Okay, that's what we saw, right? Now, that ain't necessarily what a radar actually does. Okay. A radar transmits in 360-degree radiation. Okay. It's not that it pinpoints anything, because it don't. It transmits in a radiated beam, 360 degrees. That's why you get an image for radar. But that radar is hit with some other frequency on some other tower of some sort, or some frequency that's from another entity that it's picking up, makes a different type anomaly, like the line. Now, that meaning that something that's being steered and modified, which everything was off to a certain area, to a point, to a certain spot. Now, we had a storm that was already hit there on a month ago, right? What's the cheapest and easiest route for the government or states, even though it's devastating to the people that already live there? What's the cheapest route for anything to happen again? It would be in the same path that it just hit a month ago, because they haven't even got to repairing it. They're still cleaning up. Doesn't that make sense to y'all? Of course it does. It makes plenty of sense. Now, the line that I draw is radar. Is what I would see would be more like a frequency beam of some sort coming from a laser, or a very high intense pointed beam from a beam antenna, which you can't get one like that. A beam, here's your beam. Off the beam, it comes and it transmits like this in one direction. Okay? And then it's got draw lines, and you can see them, little domes like this. This is how an antenna beam that I used to use a lot and build a bunch of to transmit your signal. Okay? The further away it got, the more distance it got, but it was still pointable, like we're pointing what? Northwest, northwest. Okay? So I would hear a lot of things a lot better in the northeast. I would still hear other things off from the west, or maybe further north, no, due northeast, maybe a little bit northeast. But you didn't hear nothing from behind you back here, which helps you hear other people that you want to hear and to transmit to, because it gives you more forward dB gain. Okay? So if you got an antenna that's transmitting 20 dB gain, like a 5-element beam, 5 or 6 element, say a CB antenna beam, they had about 26 dB gain. So if you had 26 watts times 26, that's how many watts? I can't calculate that in my head anymore, but we're going to do it live. If you got that antenna, let's close this out a minute, 26 times 26 equals, that gives you 626 watts of output power in one direction. And trust me, I know that works, because I've seen a 26 watt radio talk from my house when I lived in Nassau County to where I'm at now with 26 watts, and everybody else that was 50, 60 foot in the air with 100, 200 watts wasn't as loud as the 26 watt radio. Now that's completely crazy to you, ain't it? But that's the way it worked. Now, to get anything better than that, to have a beam like I was just talking about, where it would actually transmit a straight solid line beam like that, you got to have a serious amount of antennas, a serious amount of ground clutter. So the cheapest way and the easiest way would be to run a beam, which is a laser, and run your signal through the beam that we couldn't see. You understand what I'm saying? So that beam was transmitting, but so was the power. So you was transmitting your little, well, let me redo that. You got your little straight beam like that, and then you got your little zigzag. We call it riding the signal. Okay? Your signal's riding the beam. Now, it's not this big, but I'm drawing it bigger so you can see and understand what I'm trying to tell you. The beam is your level. The little jagged line is what you see or don't see. That's your frequency that's riding on that to modify and to change the atmosphere of whatever's going on in that beam or in that storm or anything else that we've seen. Okay? That's my point of what I'm trying to tell you. And if it was anything else other than that, one thing I wish this thing did is draw a circle. On a regular 360-degree radar, you got a round circle. But when it transmits, it goes out like this. Just like this. All the time. It gets bigger and bigger. The further away it gets, the bigger it gets. Okay? Now it does that every time you transmit. That's just like putting an antenna. If you draw a little straight line, you got a little bubble on it. And you see the lines coming off of it, which you've seen this a bunch. Some of you even have this on your cell phone or something similar to it. And this is what the signal looks like coming off of an antenna. You remember my antenna experiment where you saw the plasma shooting off of it? Remember that? Same thing. That was transmitting at 360 degrees. That means completely around, straight up, straight down, straight around, completely 360 degrees. It's like taking a round ball and multiplying the size of that ball each time and making it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? The bubble keeps going bigger and transmitting further. Do you understand? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it hits the ionosphere or a certain level in the ionosphere or in the atmosphere. It hits levels and it bounces. And that creates skip, what they call skip. In other words, you can talk to other countries on a CB radio or AM radio. You can talk to other countries at special times and conditions. That's why I used to handle solar a lot, was because I wanted to know when the best time was to transmit to one country or to another. And then we had other people jump in and start talking about they know God and God knows them. And, that's the way that works. But I don't do that, and I don't care. They better speakers than I am. I'm just an old man. They younger, and I'm older. And they just a bunch of, they're kids to me, in my opinion, because that's the way it works. But what I'm telling you right now is a frequency and how it works on a 360-degree radar system. Okay? It transmits to the ground, it transmits to the sky, it transmits all the way around the antenna in all directions all at one time. It don't transmit as a beam. Okay? But I know for a fact that this storm was modified. Y'all seen it. We have another video. Now this video is the one where I actually show you the beam coming from down south up here. It doesn't show the one over here on the east coast at the end, but we're going to show that in a minute. See, there's the one. Well, there's coming. There we go. There it is. It was sensitive that day. It didn't want to, you couldn't get it to stick on that one click. They were modifying it so you could barely see it. Because it should have been on like 2 frames, but it was on like 1. Sometimes maybe not even 1, maybe a half, like right here. See, it's there. Now, later on in this video, might have went too far. We see it in the middle of the storm. And I start marking it here. Oh, there's another one up here. And this is where I first started marking it out, mapping it out, showing y'all that they were almost in the same vicinity, but there it was right there. Right up there. See it? See it? Right there. There it is right here. Right now. Right there. Now, I was drawing a straight line right through here. But after they did these 2 shots, this storm immediately paused and jerked back to the northeast. Now, I'm not joking. It really did. I don't know if it's actually still playing here or what. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I guess it's still playing, or I got it paused in the video. But you see it. We changed. And I got it pointed out, same spot. But you see the line. Y'all can go back on YouTube and watch the video that's on there. Does it show? No. Yeah, it just shows that one thing. But that's all I needed to show you so you can see it. It's a full-length video. But you see where I draw the 2 points. I even wrote in boom here. Some of y'all seen the caption of that. I'm going to probably use it on this one as well, too, because it said boom. That's boom where it hit. Okay? That's just the way it is. Okay. Now we're back over here. And this one's on the 26th. Okay? I'm going to hit play. And we're going to watch it run through so you see where it goes through and the way it did. Here it comes. And bam. There it goes. Okay. Now, I don't know where this new storm is going to actually run into yet, but this is it. I'm going to refresh this page because the longer I let it go, as you see, it's on land. Goes and hits land in the same spot. Now, this one's turning a little bit earlier than the other one did. The other one went up in here. This one looks like it's going to go through this way. Okay. Which means that more than likely, my area is going to get a lot more rain that it kind of don't need. But right through here where all them fires are, if it went all the way up here and put all the hot spots out, that'd be great. But I don't think it's going to put the hot spots out, even they get 5-6 inches of rain. Because I think them hot spots are coming from something else. And it's not nothing that's going to put it out, because it just don't look like they're quick and temperamental little fires that come and go, quick like a bunny. Okay? But you see for a fact they hit in the same place. It's a record that they done that. Or at least I think it is, because I ain't never heard of one hitting in the same location within a month. That's got to be a record somewhere, somehow. It's got to be a record. Now, there's no joke, no doubt, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's got to be a record. That's just my opinion, okay? Now, this is back on the 26th. Now, we were watching October the 9th, which was just minutes ago, which is today's my better half's birthday. And I've been gone a little bit today because I took her out. We went out to lunch and, had some cake, this, that, and another. But this is it right here. Okay? You see it. Now, this storm wasn't as strong as the last one. But where's the bet? I'm going to say it one more time. They steered the storm, in my opinion, with what I've shown you, whether it's a glitch, which I don't disagree that it might be, that them lines might be a glitch, but I don't think so. Okay, I just don't think so. That's just like the black spots. I don't think they're a glitch either, because that's what we're looking for on that page to begin with. And they're there. We saw it. So, we got that. We need to know the difference. Okay. Now I paused it over here, and I'm showing you that today at 1906:14 UTC on the 9th, that it actually showing you before you hit land that there is another beam off the East Coast. Now, why? I don't know. But I also want to show y'all that line. Let me show you the difference between my line and their line. Okay. Now, this is my line, and you see their line. You don't see the little jiggly jaggly things in it, do you? No, you don't. Wonder why that is. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to shrink this down on top of that so y'all can see it just a little bit better. Maybe we can do it a little bit more. I don't think I can go much further than that right there. But hopefully in this line, you can see what I see. All right. I see little, on this one side, I see little fork-like, kind of like a stair step thing, like a wave. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm thinking it's a beam with a wave in it. In other words, a laser beam with a beam riding it. You got me? Now, that little Oriental Chinese guy that I can't remember his name at the moment said that they were experimenting with that in a laboratory. If they doing it in a laboratory and they were talking about it, they've already doing it already. You got me? They done it in the laboratory. Now they experimenting. And it might not be it might not be a government, folks. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? This could be a laboratory being done and funded by none other than what? None other than what? The corporate greed. That's right. Because the corporate greed has always financed every war that's ever come across the pipe. Y'all ought to know that by now. You ought to know enough about your history to know that. That's a fact. Okay, I blew it back up. Now, we're going to run through it again. It's going to have to go through it all again because it just refreshed. Got to give it a second. It might not even be there no more. Haha, they took it out. Oh, no, they didn't. It's still there. But you see the storm coming in, you see exactly where it's going to hit. Right there. Right there. Same place, man. I mean, maybe what they consider the eye being not in exactly the same place, but it's so close. We ain't never had one come that close. Maybe 300-400 miles, but not that close. That's almost a direct steering and direct hit in the same damn location, folks. That ought to be enough to you to prove to you what I've shown you and explain to you tonight. That's no joke. Now, whether anyone wants to get mad about what I had to say or tell me I'm doing this or I'm copying that or I'm copying this person or that person, what I have explained to you tonight has nothing to do with me copying a damn person. This has to do with my experience with electronics and radio and being able to make my own damn amplifier. This ain't me listening to nobody. This ain't me studying nobody else's bullshit. So the ones of you that think that can take a big flying leap off the back crack of my ass and kiss it straight up. And with that, I just want to say much love to y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you got some education out of it. And from my cold dead hands, abolish corporate greed. Corporate greed is what's destroying our way of life, the way we breathe air, the way we think, and the way we walk on the face of the earth. If you don't believe it, turn around and see what it looked like 18 months ago. And you ain't got to go very far. 18 months ain't that far. But you see what it is now, and it's going to get worse. It ain't got no better. If you can't speak freely, you're simply not free. That's a fact, because I ain't been able to speak freely in a long time. Y'all know that. You can't speak freely either. Can't speak freely. Hey, you're a slave. That's all there is to it. And it's gonna get worse, people. Gonna get worse. And while we got all this clouds going on, let's do one thing while we here, before I get out of here. I want to see if we can see anything with all of those clouds running across the state and see if we can see any hot spots. We're going to slow this down. You need to slow down, homie. Better yet, let's just stop it and do it manually. Okay. Clouds are too thick. And them clouds are thick. They're thick, guys. It's thick. No. If that opening right there was just a little bit bigger, we might be able to see something, but it's just not big enough. And I don't see no outstanding blowing of popping. Oh, wait a minute. What's that? Let's see. No. Can't see there either. Maybe they had to steer it. Remember what we were talking about the Gulf? Maybe they know that something's going on up in here and it's getting hot. And the methane is melting, or it's already been melting and they just trying to keep it from exploding. I don't know. It's just a thought. Like I said before, they said this area right here. In fact, this map right here that you're seeing is one of those maps to where they're saying different things could happen. This is where, off over here, where the super volcano is from Yellowstone, and what they say about the magma. And there's another super volcano, which this map should be wrong because there's a great big, this should go right on across to that other super volcano right here. The two masses should be just completely gone. But I don't think that a volcano is going to cause the land to sink. Generally, when a volcano goes off, the ground rises. But hey, who am I? I'm not no damn scientist. I'm not going to get in here and tell you I'm a scientist, because I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But you see this right here, right? Now, they've been saying this for years, way before I was on the internet. They were talking about this spot right here and people having dreams back in the day about this happening. That's where this come from. Come from somebody's dream. That's the reason why I don't believe crap like this. But I'm just showing it to you because this is what I was trying to explain to you. Now, a dream of somebody having has nothing to do with something like this happening. If somebody's out here drilling in an oil well, it explodes. And then they cap it off at an angle. They had to go in it at an angle and go down deep into it to fill it up with concrete. Hopefully that was going to hold it as a plug. Who knows? We ain't heard nothing about it in years. Just my opinion. It's not a conspiracy. It's just an opinion about something that could be happening. Now, you spin it any way you want to, but I'm telling you, I'm not saying it as a conspiracy. I'm just telling you for what happened in the past. You can't live the future without your history. Remember that, folks. If you don't remember history, you will repeat it. That's a fact. Now, with that, from my cold dead hands, abolish corporate greed. And you can't speak freely, so you're simply not free. Much love. Have a good night. Thank you for coming. Sorry that I started to shut off, but I wanted to show all this. Much love. Have a good night. Now, you hear?